back to the greener lawn. Today we are going to be applying a product that I've never applied before. It is Carbon 1. They have two different products that I'm going to be trying. They have their Carbon 1 tree technology and then their C1, which is their clear, which is a different product that I'm going to be using on the lawns. Stay tuned.
Cooking.
So when it comes down to these products, I've never used them before, and I talked to the owner, Doug Dickey, and he let me know that they're different uses. They are not a fertilizer. They're not a traditional fertilizer. They're nothing that's going to feed the trees or anything like that. What they do is they add the energy in so that when we do feed it, that they're able to have explosive growth. What we're looking at when we apply these products is that we're going to get root growth, which then in turn turns into top growth, greening up, and different effects. I just wanted to try it in a couple of different situations and give you guys my real results. These products were not purchased by me, they were given to me, but you are going to get my true opinions and my true results on them. Results aren't going to be immediate, so this is the first initial introduction to these products. Next follow-up videos, we will look into what our results are from the little tests that I run. Looking at Carbon 1's product line, I didn't realize that these were two different products right here, the Clear and the C1. I knew that the Tree was a different product, but I didn't realize that the Clear and C1 were two different products. So the difference between these two is the Clear does not have the humic or the kelp inside of it. It is more used for foliar applications where staining is an issue. If you're not worried about the staining, C1 is a very viable option, and it keeps all the ingredients together and gives all the great results. Tree, of course, is its own separate, specifically formulated towards trees. The Clear just gives the energy without the staining properties. For the tree applications, what you're supposed to do is use 2 ounces per inch of diameter of the caliper of the tree trunk, and use that up the first 3 feet at full strength on the trunk itself. So as you're applying it, you just apply it directly to the trunk. When applying to either the grass or to the foliage of a tree, it does say to dilute it. It says to dilute it to a 1:20 mixture ratio. So for every 1 ounce of product you stick in there, you have 20 ounces of water, and so on. So for a whole gallon's worth of water, you are going to only put 6 ounces of product in for a whole gallon of water. For the first test, I'm going to take these 2 pots that I have right here. We just recently planted them up with some mums. This side is a little bit less, it's a little bit more struggling. Not super hardcore struggling, but you can see that this one's a lot fuller. The difference between them is quite substantial in the size and the bloom strength. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 1 ounce into this, which it has a 2-gallon reservoir down here at the bottom on both sides. I will add nothing to this side, and I'll add 1 ounce of it to this side. I do fertilize. I do have this fertilizer right here. It's the kind that comes with these pots. With these, this is going to be this first test. I'm going to see what kind of difference I can get between these. And the cool thing about this is at the end of the season, when we do pull these out of these pots, I will be able to see the difference in the root mass with this one versus this one. So this is one of those ones that I can check the root growth. That is what these products are supposed to do, is stimulate the root growth. With more roots, it's supposed to push the top at the other side of it with the help of extra fertilizer. This is not a fertilizer. So we will do this test and we will see where we are at with top growth. Yes, it's not supposed to give top growth per se, but what it's supposed to do is it's supposed to add the energy to the roots, and as it grows more roots, it can sustain more growth up top. It will be this pot versus this pot. This pot will be my control. This one will only have the fertilizer. This one's going to have the fertilizer and the C1 product right here out of this bottle. So the nice thing about these containers is that they have this pre-mixture mix rate right here. So all you have to do is just push on it and it will fill that reservoir up to 1 ounce. So I'm going to put 1 ounce of product in here. This is 256 ounces of water, so the 1 ounce will dilute with that 20:1 mixture ratio just fine. The right one will always be the one with the C1 application, and the left one will be the one with none. After applying the Carbon 1 to my flowers, I found out that it is much better served to apply to flowers on their actual foliage versus putting it into the soil back here where it soaks up. It will get more energy if you actually apply it to the foliage. What it's doing is it's feeding the organisms in the soil versus the plant themselves. So they get the energy. It doesn't get as much as if I were to have sprayed it. So this might be a little bit slower response because of that. I'm going to be using my Sprayers Plus sprayer, and I'm going to be putting in the tree application. It's going to go in at a straight application rate. I'm going to put in enough to do a couple of different little trees. This does have the consistency and the look of apple juice. Kind of smells like fermented apples, as a matter of fact. Straight product, no dilution. So this is one of the trees that I'm going to be doing it on. It's my entry tree. It is a weeping fountain cherry, and it has never really established. As you see already, it has a little bit of yellowing and stuff in the leaves. Its leaves have never really been strong. It does grow. It is getting bigger every year, but this year, I don't know, it's just kind of given up a little early for me. That was a straight application at 2 ounces, 3 feet up the trunk, and now I just let it absorb in. And allegedly, it's supposed to do its magic. Let's wait and see. After recording my weeping cherry tree, I did find out that I did it incorrectly for this kind of tree. This tree has 2 grafts, so it has a high graft and a low graft. I sprayed it in the middle trunk. We really don't want growth out of that because there is no growth in there that we want. We want to spray it at the high graft on these types of trees. That's where we want to spray that at. That product, because this is where we want the growth, is this higher end of things. That middle graft, we don't want growth out of that. We don't want growth from the bottom graft down there. We want it from the higher graft. This trunk right here is the one that blew over in that windstorm. Oh, just had a little microburst come through. Yep. What happened is it snapped, and then I was like, I really wished it would throw up some suckers, and it finally did. Here's one right here. It is attached, as you can see, to this root structure that's coming off. It comes up and it bows right here. So it does have a sucker in place. I'm going to actually move back some of this bark, and I'm going to make sure that I spray the root system right here so that I can get some good growth out of it. I'm not going to spray this little guy right here. I'm going to spray right back here. You'll see its little root structures. I'm going to spray those, but I'm going to spray the mass of this guy, and then I'm going to be spraying this big root right here that looks like a good taproot that's going down. So I want to hit just lightly these guys right over here, tag the trunk, and get this big guy right here. I'm going to see if I can get this tree to reestablish from this old one that went down. If I can keep that root structure that's already in place, it will make this tree so much healthier than to go grab a big tree and throw it back in here and grow it out. Yes, it will take a little bit of time, but it's worth a try, right? So on this tree, what had happened is last year, I didn't get enough water in it because this is a really sandy soil that I brought in for this top bed. You guys will see this in my videos. It's up at the point. I didn't water it really well last year, so it burnt out on this side because this is the west facing, and so it really burnt it out. This season, it's grown in quite a bit, but it's never really recovered in between. Has a little bit of health that's coming back into it, but it's super slow. We are all the way into September, and this was basically bare at the beginning of the season, and I've just changed my watering and been using other amendment products, but allegedly this is supposed to help this kind of stuff. This Japanese maple has never really established because of the same sandy soil that I put up here. It's always struggled. So let's go ahead and hit this also. As you can see, this is the final tree on my property. It's right at my property line. Bam, property line. It's this last one. I don't know what's been going on with it all season. I've been looking for something that will help it. These are still pliable. They're just folded. So you can see I can open them up, but they just curl right back and up. So this tree is obviously not dead. Talking to Doug, he thinks that it's high salts in the soil and that this new root growth should help that issue. So I'm going to try it. And once again, this one's going to be a lot easier to see because we'll be able to see where I'm painting this on at. But just because this is the greener lawn, that green though, that is yummy. Let's paint it on. Once again, all this was applied at full strength. I did put it on. It does have at the bottom a 4-inch caliper. So I did put 8 ounces worth of product right here on this because it's 2 ounces per inch of caliper. So it does have that 4-inch caliper. Let's see what it does. 1 gallon of water into my Sprayers Plus. I'm going to put 6 ounces of C1 into that so that I have that 1:20 ratio, and we're going to spray it on a couple of things. Let's go. So these guys are still struggling also. These are euonymuses. They both, neither of them are doing extremely great. Their leaves aren't really growing at all. They're small. They're curled. Not great at all. Both of them are in the same similar boat. So the one on the right will be the one that we hit with carbon 1. These euonymuses aren't really doing that great either. And so the way that we're going to test these euonymuses is that I will do every other one going up so that we can see the difference. And I'm going to try to hit the ones that are a little bit smaller. So can we agree that that one's bigger than this one? That one's definitely bigger than that one. That one's small again. That one's bigger. So these will be the controls right here. So no spray, spray, no spray, spray, no spray. So with this patch, it's right here as we're looking at the yard. This is where I made several turns. This is fertilizer burn. This is still established. I've never ever done a humic power hit. I've never hit it with anything other than my power hit of dethatch, aerate, and the small amount of humic 12. So this is going to be a good test patch right here. Allegedly, it's supposed to help with the root growth. So in my mind, if it's helping with root growth, maybe it will help with rhizomes to fill it in. It has very few, so the activity has started. Think we can get it to establish. So I will keep this as the control. I'll do nothing over here on the smaller patch, and I will nail this over here to see if it gives me any growth. All right, and for the final test, I'm gonna use this front park strip right here. You can tell that on the right side, it's having a little bit of issues. This is the side that the sprinklers are on. They throw one way. So you have issues on that side because you don't get water that comes back and covers it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and break this up into 3 sections. So to reiterate, so that we have this clear, fertilizer only, C1 and fertilizer, C1 by itself, carbon 1. We will see what this does. So up to this point right here, this is all going to be just fertilizer. So this point over, I'm going to be putting the carbon 1 down. So for that test on the grass up front, this right here is going to be my nitrogen source, Green Pop from Green Counter Fertilizer. It is a starter fertilizer, so this paired with the C1, the carbon 1 aspect of it, this is supposed to make this work extremely well, because this is what the push is for the top growth. This is supposed to be for the root growth. So the last aspect of it, remember, we're only doing fertilizer on this half up to that point right there. This middle section, this point to this point, we are doing both carbon 1 and fertilizer, and that point up there, we're only doing carbon 1, no fertilizer at all. So I'll only be applying up till this point right here. No other place up there will get fertilizer. This is Green Pop. So when it comes down to these products, this carbon 1 source growth sunlight in a bottle, I guess what it would actually say is it's sunlight in a bottle because it's adding the energy into it. I'm excited about them. I don't have any results right now. This is going to be a long game. This is an introduction to this product. I want to see where these products actually take my lawn. I struggle in the landscaping aspect. My trees and stuff aren't on par. My front bed, I think, does amazing. All my other beds do need help. This is hopefully gonna give that to my landscaping. So if it can give me that aspect of it, with that growth, that health, it's gonna be amazing. I'm excited to see what it does in the lawn up front with that difference. I have a different test. If all these go well, I am going to test it one more time. I have one that's gonna be a super long game, but it's going to be a fun game, because if it does what I think it'll do, it would be fun for a lot of cool season folks to do it. Let's see if it comes true. Let's see if this product actually works. Like I said, I will have results in the future for you. I have nothing for you right now except for high hopes. Let's see what this product does for us. In the comments section down below, are you interested in seeing products like this, newer products out on the market? Are you guys excited to see what this sunlight in a bottle can actually do? What it would do for your lawn, what it would do for your shrubs, what it would do for your trees? Could it help those people who are struggling in those aspects? Could it help you? Let me know in the comments section below. I'm Jeremy of The Greener Lawn. Make her green. But just because this is the greener lawn, that green though, that is yummy.